Hey YouTube, my name is Mel and today I'm going to be showing you how to make an amazing tomato sauce using fresh tomatoes, and the best part is it's delicious and doesn't take that long. So let's get started. So for this recipe you're going to need 10 or 12 plum tomatoes. Now you're going to want to use this variety of tomato because first of all the seeds are really small. Secondly, it's very fleshy. And when it cooks down, it makes a nice, beautiful, rich sauce. So you're gonna wanna use plum tomatoes. And if you don't have the plum tomatoes, you can use canned tomatoes. So the first step in this recipe will be to skin these tomatoes. In order to do that, you're gonna have to make an X pattern cut on your tomatoes and then put them in some boiling hot water for about 30 seconds. You don't need that long. But of course, if you're me and you have to check your phone, you probably left them in for a little bit longer than 30 seconds, and that's okay. This recipe is pretty foolproof. As long as you don't burn anything, you're good. So once your tomatoes have been boiled for about 30 seconds, you can add them to some ice water, and the skins, as you'll see, they should just peel off like butter. It's kind of fun. And you'll probably notice peeled tomatoes look hella weird, but that's part of the fun. So yeah, just peel all your tomatoes. And then once they're all peeled and they're looking all weird, it's time to give them a good chop. I don't really care for like the stem part. I don't want that in my sauce, so I'm just taking that off. You don't have to. And then I'm just giving everything a good rough chop. If you don't really like big chunks in your sauce, you want a less chunky sauce, definitely do a finer dice of your tomatoes. But me, I don't really care. So I'm just doing a really large chop because I plan on smushing it to hell when it's when I put it in the pot. So I'm okay with a chunky sauce. So once all your tomatoes are cut up, you're gonna want to set a pot to medium heat and add some extra virgin olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. And once the oil heats up, it starts to shimmer, it's time to add 1 large diced onion. And the same way you chopped your tomatoes, same way you can chop your onions. If you like less chunk, do it really fine. If you want it really chunky, cut them big, you know? So the onions are cooking down, they're looking really nice, have a little bit of caramelization to them. It's smelling really amazing. Now it's time to add 3 cloves of chopped garlic. And I don't know about you, but I don't think there's anything on this planet that smells better than onion, garlic, oil, heat. I'll bet I wouldn't have that in a candle, but amazing smell. So give it a good stir. And once you can smell the garlic, it's time to add the tomatoes. And don't leave any man behind. Make sure all the tomato chunks get into the pot. And from there, it's just sort of a waiting and watching game, right? So you're gonna wanna add a little bit of salt. And as I said, it's just waiting and watching. The tomatoes, you will notice, will cook down pretty fast. And you don't want any of them to burn. And I pretty much cook it medium heat all the way through until they're really smushed. So as you can see, the tomato sauce is cooking down, and you're just gonna want to take your whisk. Wait, I'm not using a whisk. Take your spatula and give it a good smush. And I sped things up, but it's actually quite a little bit of work, just like smushing everything down. Potato masher also would work, or if you really want your sauce fine, you can get one of those hand blenders you know, and just go zzz, and you know, like blend it up. That was a crazy sound effect. Anyways, so once you're happy with how your tomato sauce is in terms of like chunkiness, you can go ahead and add your Italian seasoning. Just stir it up. And I'm putting 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, not that much. Giving it a good stir. And now for some pepper. I have a really dinky pepper shaker. I really wish I had one like, anyone remember Emerald? And he had that giant pepper shaker. So now it's time for my secret ingredient, and this is how you're gonna get your sauce tasting amazing in very little time. And that is by adding, it's not soy sauce, it's called balsamic glaze. It's a balsamic vinegar reduction, and it is sweet, it is tangy, it is delicious. Now, what this does is it adds a really great depth of flavor and sweetness in very short an amount of time. Usually to get that sweetness from a tomato sauce, you're gonna have to cook it down for a significant amount of time. But a great way to cut that time is to use a balsamic reduction. So once the balsamic reduction is all stirred in, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of butter. You can also use 1 tablespoon if you'd like, but butter is really important because it adds a really great richness to the sauce. I don't know about you, but I've had many tomato sauces in the past that were very thin, and the butter, what it does is it just sort of holds everything together. It makes it really nice and luscious and creamy and all that good stuff. So definitely add the butter in, do not skimp on it. So once all the butter has melted into the sauce and it's been well incorporated, it's time to add about 3 tablespoons of parsley. This is optional if you don't like parsley. And the sauce is done. So all that's left to do is prepare something to eat it with. So today I'm gonna be cooking up some spaghetti because that's what I have in my cupboard. And while the spaghetti cooks, it's time to get the garnish ready. So I'm gonna be using some basil, and I'm gonna be making an attempt to do some basil ribbons. All right, so in order to do this, you just stack all the basil leaves together, and then you just do a cigar-like roll, and then you just cut the basil. I'm still working on my knifing, that's not a word, on my knife skills. So garnish ready, pasta's about done. Now it's time to just grab an extra pot and add your amazingly beautiful, rich tomato sauce to it on medium heat. Oh, you're gonna tell me that doesn't look good? So I'm gonna show you how to make your pasta stick to your pasta. How to make your your sauce to stick to your pasta. So in order to do that, you're gonna wanna add your pasta directly from the pot into the pan and make sure some of that pasta water gets in. The pasta water, the starch in it, it helps thicken the sauce and it helps it stick to the pasta. And also you wanna make sure that you're using like a better quality pasta because they'll have like some ridges, and that also helps the sauce stick to the pasta. So as you can see, look at that, just a little bit of stirring in the pot with the water and the pasta and the sauce, and it's amazing. So all that's left now to do is struggle to plate this pasta up, and then I'm adding some mascarpone on it and some of those basil ribbons that I cut up and some Parmigiano Reggiano. And look, it's done. And how gorgeous does that look? That looks gorgeous, right? Tastes gorgeous too. Like, I'm really enjoying this right now. So I hope you really enjoyed this recipe. It's really quick, really easy, really delicious. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. If you've tried it out and really like it, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Have a good one. Bye.